Hello, everybody. It's good to finally be streaming again. I've made some changes here. This is my first time streaming on my new computer rig, so we will see how all of that business goes. So it's been a while since I've streamed MSF. Um, in that time, I have officially broken 7 million total collection power, which is really awesome, and I'm pushing 600,000 for strongest team power. I see we already got some people in the chat. Shara, great to see you. Dragon Slayo, how's it going, man? Um, I'm gonna try to start doing this more often again. Hopefully, my work schedule is gonna get a little more manageable, and we can do more of this. But tonight's stream, hey John, what's going on? Yeah, I will happily play Dead by Daylight soon. We can try to get a stream going. That'll be a lot of fun. Try to wrangle the old crew. But there's a couple reasons for tonight's stream. One, as I mentioned, I just built a new custom rig, so I'm trying to get everything set up before the Saturday routine werewolf stream. And also, Pooh Bear, what's going on? Good to see you. A bunch of familiar names in chat. Dragon so yeah, you're in the Paleo Pals Alliance. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Um, yeah, so the other reason I wanted to do a quick stream tonight is because there's been some questions about Emma as a character and if she's a good character and if she's worth really pursuing. Jay Dorfer, what happened to the old rig? Honestly, the old rig is getting up there in years. I piecemealed some parts together, but some of the parts in there were pushing on 8 or 9 years old, and it just started overheating. I was losing some efficiency with the CPU and stuff. I just decided it was time to bite the bullet. So yeah, I decided to upgrade. I upgraded to a really nice system actually. This is actually the graphics card that I'm running. Oh, where's the camera? GeForce RTX 3080. It's a powerful graphics card. I got the Ryzen 7 third gen processor. So good stuff. Good stuff. It's a powerful machine. I didn't throw it out, so I'm actually considering using the other PC as a dedicated streaming rig. I know that a lot of streamers actually get capture cards and they route their gaming PC through that, because I'm thinking about running some of the new gen games in order to run it on Ultra and be streaming and doing other stuff. I've heard that's probably the best way to go. So I'm still playing around with it, but if I don't do that, then I will happily give you some of the old parts. Wow, yeah, chat is thumping right now. Look at this. Hey, guys. Yeah. Alright, anyway, so let's get into MSF a little bit. As I mentioned, tonight I really want to focus a little bit, especially for the newer players in our Alliance cluster, asking questions about Emma. Here's Emma Frost. You see, I've invested a significant amount of resources into her. Emma's a great character. First of all, she's on a great team. She's on her home, if you will, is on the Marauders team, though she is a flexible character that can be used on a lot of different teams. Also, can you guys just let me know, am I coming through loud and clear? Do I need to mess with my volume at all? Or are you guys hearing me crystal here? Just drop a line in chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Your Emma is basically the same power level as mine. Yeah, I mean, she definitely is worth investing. A little quiet? Alright, let me see if I can turn the volume up here a little bit. Turned up all the way there. Maybe I can turn it up through the stream. No, turn it all the way up on the stream too. I guess I'll just have to talk louder or maybe move a little closer to the mic. You can let me know if that makes a difference. Not bad. Okay. So yeah, Emma is not a top priority for me, but she's not far. If I had to rate her as far as singular characters, I don't know exactly, without spending more time on it, I don't know exactly where I'd put her, but definitely she would make it into the top 30 singular characters. For a lot of reasons, she's got a lot of versatility on a number of different teams, and more importantly, she is a hard counter to a number of the top teams right now. So we're going to go through her abilities and where she fits and all this stuff. So she is a villain. She's global, which means you can use her in Dark Dimension. Dark Dimension 3 and 4 for the global tags. She's a mutant, and what's really good about that is a lot of the top characters that are your primary targets for Dark Dimension are going to be bio. So having a mutant, with the exception of course Phoenix or Colossus, but having another mutant character lets you spread your gear a little easy. Top 30's rough. I mean, how you doing, Steve? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I again, if I sat down, I'd give you a more accurate number. There's so many good characters. I mean, you got Black Order definitely are in that number. Phoenix, you've got a lot of legendaries. Phoenix, Black Bolt definitely make it to that number. Doc Ock, I think, makes it to that number. You got a number of players up there, but I definitely put her in the top 30. I don't know, top 20, that starts getting a more crowded field, but top 30 for sure. She has this season tag, which is really nice right now for the current events going on, because you're going to need season characters for Red Guardian, which is great. No, you're right, Steve. Black Order, I wouldn't rank all of them in the top 30 standalone, but Cull, I think I put there as a protector. I put Ebony Maw there. Thanos is top 50, but probably not top 30. But we'll get back to that. But she also has this showstopper temporary tag. Anyway, her kit. We're going to start out with her basic attack, Fashionable Strike, right? At max level, it does 290% damage. More importantly, it flips 2 positive effects to negative effects. So not only does it effectively clear positives, it then applies the opposite effect of the positive, which is a really useful tool. She also has one of the highest focus values in the game, which means that this is going off more often than potentially other characters' abilities. Second of all, she has a charge mechanic, and if she's charged, she actually does additional damage and clears the 2 positive effects instead. Honestly, I prefer flipping. I know that you're trading flipping for the extra damage. If I had my choice, though, I really prefer the flipping effect. I think you get a lot more mileage out of that than just increasing her damage. Still, it is a 50% damage increase, which is nothing to sneeze at, and she does pretty reasonable damage. Her second ability, or special, is Diamond Form. If she's charged already, you clear charged. If not, you gain charged when you use this ability. She barriers herself for 20% of her max health, right? So you definitely want to stack health on this character. Red stars are important. If you can get them for her, you want to pursue them. She then clears 3 negative effects from herself and all allies. Doesn't have to be mutant allies. So this is where she becomes really useful as a supporting character on a number of different teams. Hey, Fort Morton Tyson, welcome to the stream. Good to see you guys. Yes, Tyson makes a good point against Deadpool or characters like that can either clear or utilize negative effects. The clearing does matter more, but generally speaking, I like flipping abilities rather than just clearing them if I can do it. Guys, by the way, Fort Mort is another streamer. He streams Star Wars Galaxies. If you don't follow him already, you definitely should. He and I are actually both part of sort of a streaming alliance, if you will, called G3. It's sort of up and coming. We're still working on it, but Very cool guy, nice guy, funny guy, has a really fun stream, so you should definitely check him out when you get a chance. Oh, Shuffledebot, AJ, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so as I was saying, clearing negative effects from self and allies is amazing. Then mutant villain allies, and this is where she really synergizes specifically on Marauders. This is her home, right? But you could also run her on a Brotherhood team just as effectively. She applies immunity to at max level to self and all mutant villain allies, so that's really cool. She then applies on top of it. That would be enough, but on top of it, she then applies slow to all enemies, which is amazing. Yeah, so that is her special. Really cool ability, really great. Even though she's a controller, I mean, that smacks of a support role. She's a really strong character to put on the team in a supporting role that she's not going to be your main damage dealer, but she's going to prop up the rest of the team. We then get to her ultimate, Turn the Tables. Again, if she has charge, this will clear charged. She clears 3 positive effects from all enemies. Again, this is a clear. So now she has 2 abilities. She's one of the only characters in the game like this. She has 2 abilities that actually clears positive effects from enemies. Her basic will either flip them or, if she's charged, clear them. And then her ultimate clears 3 positive effects. That's a really big deal. She then applies Blind to a primary target. Again, not a ton of characters apply Blind in the game. Blind is a very useful mechanic that makes the victim's next attack miss, which is huge. She then, get a load of this, she then mind controls the enemy or ally character with the most damage, whoever it is, your team or the enemy team, to attack your primary target. Plus, there is a 75% chance at my level, but eventually... it stays 75%. 75% chance to control a second character. The controlled characters get plus 25% damage for this basic attack. If the primary target is killed, apply Blind to the non-summoned enemy with the most speed bar. And this attack is unavoidable, so they can't evade it, which is crazy. At max level, that 25% damage increases to 40% extra damage. And she automatically calls, she automatically calls 2 targets to attack. Tyson says he's won the odd one with her by leaving her charged and then using her basic repeatedly. Saved you a couple times when you were down to just Emma. Yeah, and Steve just confirmed, it gets to 100%. I misread that. Yes, it does get to 100%. Yes, so Tyson brings up an important point. He mentioned, the key phrase here is if it comes down to just Emma. So, Emma, again, I mentioned, belongs on the Marauders team. Marauders are specifically a really strong war defense team. But people have said, even if you have a weak Marauders team, if you have a strong Emma, she can basically solo many teams that people would use to try to knock through your spot in war. So she's a really strong character to have. That's not to say you can't lose, but it forces the enemy players to invest more resources to take your team out, which is really important. Finally, we get to her passive, which I do have maxed out. The White Queen. On turn, she has a self-heal, 15% of her max health. Again, we already talked about her special adding a barrier, so she's got a lot of sustain built in right there. Apply minus 10% speed to all enemies. A permanent effect. It's just a passive effect. She slows down the enemy team. Really useful. Very, very useful. On top of that, with the other slow in her kit, it just increases the likelihood that you get to go more often than the enemy team. And turn meter in this game, in most games like this, can be king sometimes. That's why symbiotes are so good, because they get those constant speed ups that they can just keep going and keep dishing out additional damage. In addition, while she has charged, she gains 400% armor and 500% resistance. She's a really tanky character. Even though she's a controller, she feels like a protector sometimes. It allows her to outlast her teammates and again try to solo big teams. On top of it, as I mentioned, Marauders is a war defense team. She has a specific ability here on war defense when she spawns in. Apply defense up for 2 turns to all mutant villain allies. Again, that applies to Marauders or Brotherhood. She works best on Marauders. There's a lot of other ways that her team interacts with her. She really props up Strife, who's a fantastic protector, and makes it just a really, really strong team. So Emma is somebody you definitely want to go after. Shara says, I've also found Emma to be effective in PvP. Absolutely. And again, I mentioned, on top of being really good on the Marauders, she fits really well in many different teams. She's sort of not quite universal, but sort of a universal character that you can plug and play, and she just does so much for the team. Tyson says, it's pretty hard for me to not use her in PvP. It's hard to sub anyone for her. Yeah, her control mechanics are just really, really strong. And she really props up your team. The only time I don't use her is for teams that either have on their own insane resistance that I'm not sure I'll be able to use her abilities. Although again, one team that does have really high resistance is Black Order. She is considered a counter for Black Order because of how much she can strip resistances. The other time I won't use her is if I'm worried about a really high alpha team that's going to wipe out my team members before she can prop them up. Because even though, as I mentioned, she can solo, if you're facing someone at roughly equal power to you who knows what they're doing and is using good strategies, if they can wipe out your main damage dealers before she really gets her engine rolling, then you're probably going to be on the losing end of it. I was using her in Arena for a long time. I've since moved away from her, but she has a lot of uses in both Arena and War. She's a very heavy PvP-based character, but can be useful in raids, can be useful in Dark Dimension. So especially newer players, if you will, in the early game, I've always stressed trying to go after the most versatile characters, because in the early game you're sort of gated from certain game modes unless you have these really flexible characters that can get you more bang for your buck. She is a character that will get you a lot of bang for your buck. She's definitely worth pursuing. Which brings me to the next point. How do you get her, and why are we talking about her right now? So, right now, there is a milestone event going on in-game. Where are we? Did I pass it? Yes. Here we are. There's the normal milestones. You want to spend gold for the High Roller milestone. You want to be spending campaign energy for the Save the World milestone, and just fighting in as many battles as possible. Things like Raid and blitzing and Arena. Whatever you can counts towards this World Warrior milestone. And by doing these milestones and getting higher in the milestones, you're going to get shards of Emma. It's been a while since I unlocked her. Maybe somebody in chat can put up... I think you unlock her at 3 stars. Is that correct? I believe she's a 3-star unlock. I believe you need 100 shards to unlock her. The other thing to note is the World Warrior. I mentioned you need to just do battles. This is not a solo one, so every day it's going to reset that you've got to spend gold, that you got to spend campaign energy. But in addition, there's this overarching milestone that's actually alliance-wide, so you and your alliance members can put in effort here to help everybody achieve these higher milestones. Yeah, we have confirmation from chat here. She was 100 shards to unlock. You get her at 3 stars. I think it's doable. I think it's doable if everyone in the Alliance is active, if everybody's working together to try to maximize their participation. You definitely can get her, and she will make a huge difference in your roster. I was able to unlock her during her last event with my free-to-play secondary account, Brawlhalla. I was able to get her. I invested very heavily in her. She's in my top 5 strongest characters on that account, and I get a lot of mileage out of her. I use her in raids, and I use her in Arena on that account. So I definitely recommend, if you don't have her yet, or even if you do have her and you want to get her stars up, you definitely should. She's totally worth it. While I'm in here, I just want to see... I already did my Dark Dimension 3 for the day, but maybe I will spend some cores to hit it again so you guys can see. This is actually my second run of Dark Dimension 3. I've already completed most of the global nodes. I have one more global node yet that I've started hitting. So let's see if I want to spend some cores here. I think I will. Do I want to go... I think I'm going to go extra heals and resistance here. We'll fight it out. Steve says, I believe all the milestone characters have been 3-star unlocks. I do believe that is correct. Okay. All right. Alright, so we're going to stealth with Phoenix here. We want to try to get Dark Phoenix out as soon as possible. I'm going to hold off on using Beast's ultimate because I want to wait for Dark Phoenix to be up to do that. I am going to strip... she resisted it, but I was trying to strip Rescue's defense up there. Alright, good. So we get Dark Phoenix here, and Cyclops gets his offense up. Oh, so many ults. Alright, you know what I'm actually going to do? We're going to quit out of that. In Dark Dimension, if you quit out, you don't lose the attempt. It just resets where you were. So, how do I want to do this? I want to eat some of the ultimates. I actually throw Wolverine in here. Coulson is 180 and was a milestone. There you go. Hey, Stamp. How's it been, bud? Good to see you. Oh, man. So many familiar faces in chat. I'm going to have to do this more often. I miss you guys. Alright, so we're going to waste their speed up here. That was useful. We didn't eat the ultimates yet. We're going to get to that next. So, let's pull them out. I will go ahead and heal War Machine and get him to try to eat at least one of those ults. Dark Dimension is a slog for those of you that are newer to the game and haven't gotten this far yet, but sometimes the best thing you can do is literally just go in intending to fail, but eating some important high damage moves so that when you come back in, your team can go farther. We have his ult up anyway, so we'll put a little bit of damage on the team here. Oh my goodness. Still didn't manage to eat either of the Crossbones ults, which is upsetting. Alright. Pull that out. Put him in. Put him in. I want to flip their orientation over here. And let's try this. Steve says he's over a month into DD3, finished DD2 twice in 2 weeks. Very cool, very cool. I slogged through DD2, but at the time, I did it a long time ago. I had to use my defenders, unfortunately, which was painful, to say the least. DD3, I think I finished DD3 about a week or two ago, maybe. Maybe a week and a half ago. I don't quite remember. Alright, So we're going to throw a heal block on Crossbones. Again, we're going to use Phoenix's special here. We've already got defense up, so I don't need to worry about using Beast's ult right away. What we are going to try to do... Alright, we were able to flip those defense up. That was nice. I'm also going to throw defense down on this Crossbones. Alright, we lose Phoenix. Alright, so we're able to get her special off. Again, Phoenix's special, for those of you who don't know, it's a health steal. That's a % health steal, which is really great in Dark Dimension because... Hey, Jigabachi, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Tyson says DD2's been going pretty fast for me. I have 3 nodes that have taken me more than 1 attempt. DD1 is going a lot slower. Fair enough. So yeah, Phoenix is very vital. I know she's very hard to unlock, especially for newer players, but there's only a few characters in the game, Minerva's one of them, Ghost is now one of them, that have this % health damage. Super important. You should also note it's a redistribution, so it doesn't count as healing for the purpose of heal block. It redistributes the health. She also then applies regeneration and applies additional regeneration to X-Men. The main thing here, though, is her damage, so even though no one needs healing, we're going to go ahead and drop that heavy damage on the enemy team. I hate that we ate that ult. I did not want to do that, but I didn't have too much of a choice. We're going to extend our taunt here. I'm just hoping to get Phoenix's ult off, but I'm not going to. Unfortunate. It's alright, we'll resume tomorrow. Tomorrow I should be able to take out Falcon and do more damage to the team. Some of these nodes are just brutal in that you just catch ult after ult after ult. I do have a 5 red star beast, I believe. So again, we did 3.65 million damage. It's not ideal. I've done much more previously, but sometimes you just get this bad break. So once I get the reset, I'm going to hit it again. Yeah, let's look at my top of my roster here. My big one, I've got a 7 red star Phoenix is my best character. I'm very happy about it. My runner-up is Cyclops here, 6 red star, 7 yellow star. My symbiotes are really high, and then my third most powerful team are my Black Order. But yeah, I have a 5 red star beast. Red stars are really important on Beast the same way they're really important on Emma. He's got a heal that's based on his % of his health, so it's really important to get his stats up. I happen to have a high red star Minerva, but it's really not as important for her kit because she doesn't utilize her own stats mainly. She's got the % enemy health damage for her ult. The numbers going from DD2 to DD3 are intense. Looks like over double. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough. But yeah, she does have a % health heal, which is nice. So it's not like red stars are useless for her. Just like Beast having % health, it does matter for her. But her big attraction is this health steal, stealing 15% health from enemies and redistributing it to all allies. Oh my goodness. Yes, their damage is boosted and their health is absurd and their armor is absurd. They're just really tough. But that's why those percent damage characters are so vital for that game mode, because they can get around those inflated values. My current project right now, I'm getting Corvus Glaive here to T14. I'm actually 1 SBC shy, so I should have that tonight or tomorrow. He should be T14. And at that point, the only of my Black Order team that isn't T14 yet is Corvus, so he, rather Cull Obsidian, so he's going to be my next project. Which sucks that he's bio because, you know, there's so many good bio characters. I'd really like to get Venom up there. He's my last symbiote to get to T14. But right now I'm prepping for the cosmic nodes for my second run of DD3, and I really want to get Cull up there to use Black Order through that. So that's my focus. I'm also quickly approaching level 80, so I'm trying to hoard as much as I can to start getting my first characters to gear tier 15. Chigabachi is one of our resident comedians. We have a really good bunch of people in our alliance cluster, and I'm very, very proud to be part of the team. Let's see what we got going on in war here. We're punching up pretty high in this current war. I'm sure no one's taken out that absurd, almost 700,000 Black Order team we saw before. We've gotten significantly farther through. Big teams. Oi. Oi, oi. I think I'm going to punch at this Asgardians team with... It's actually going to be a punch down for me with my symbiotes. So let's do that. Tyson, you took out the Coulson Fury team. Wasn't a bad punch up. What did you use? I gotta get myself set up again. I was doing really well. I had some background music and stuff. I gotta get back there, but my focus was just getting the new rig working. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some bleed. Oh, resisted. Bastards. You use Zemo with Min to heal and revive. Nice. Let's see if we can. Alright, we got one bleed out of the deal. These resistances are absurd. There we go. We got an offense down. And a bleed. Alright, now we're starting to move here. I'm going to go ahead and give offense up to my team through Anti-Venom. And then we're going to throw some bleed on Hela. Nice with a Disrupt. 100k punch up. Nice. Very cool. Hey, Fortmore. Thank you for gifting us up. Very generous. You are my favorite boy toy. For those of you that don't know, Fortmore and I have an epic bromance. Bards will write songs about it. Alright, let's get disrupted here. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. Alright, we're going to try to flip some of those positive effects. Nice, looking good, and we'll spread him to Thor. And after that, I'm gonna... we didn't clear the taunt. We are going to go ahead and slow everybody here. Finally take out Sif. I don't like that we're giving Hela all these Gregs, but it's going to be alright because we have Scream to get around the stealth. If necessary. It wasn't necessary. Carnage took her out. We'll go ahead and extend these bleeds and negative effects on Heimdall. Take Loki out. There we go, and then easy cleanup. I know. I'm gonna have to have Fort teach me his ways. Fortmore has all the fun toys on his stream. People have intro music, and he's got all these fun videos he plays. So he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to take me as his Padawan here, for sure. All right, we'll hit that later when we have more energy. Let's take a look at our raids and see how we're doing in Ultimus 7. We really only have a couple seconds left. I will wait. We can relaunch the next raid. What did we hit 60? Oh, we were shy of 60% on this one. Dang, we're gonna have to make it up on the next one. You know, Jigabachi, I started using what's it called? There's a royalty free site. I have to remember what it's called. Maybe it's Goldcat or something. I have it written down somewhere. But I started using that. They've got some decent stuff. It's very techno-y, trancey type music, but it's nice for just putting in the background and instead of just playing the same game music on loop. I also need to get my second. I don't have my second screen up and running yet because the new graphics card uses a slightly different cable. So I'm waiting on that to arrive. It should arrive hopefully tomorrow, which will make my life so much easier because I'm like squinting now to see the chat over here. I don't have my normal two set up, and certainly I'm older. I feel probably 30 years older after how 2020 went, but certainly grayer. Come on, let's get this rolling. What time is it? Yeah, we can definitely launch the next one. Ultima 7. Launch. Let's do it. More addicted. So I use Symbiotes. Symbiotes right now are the #1 raid team, so if you have them, you should be, and you like raiding and you want to get better at raiding, Symbiotes are definitely your top choice if you have them all. Really, as long as you have Carnage, Venom, and at least Symbiote Spider-Man, you could build a good team around them, but Symbiote Spider-Man is sort of a linchpin. You can get away without it if you use some clever team comms, because really the Symbiotes will synergize with any team that uses debuffs, but Symbiote Spider-Man makes a really big difference. This is a big punch down for me. I really could hit any button, so we'll just talk about. I could be autoing this right now. We'll just talk though about priority of targets as we go through these nodes. So you'll notice I targeted Pyro first. He's a real pain in the ass for these nodes. With that bleed he can put on, you want to get rid of that immediately. Once you get the second wave in, Magneto is going to be your primary target, because you don't want him to blind your characters and essentially take them temporarily out of the fight, which now he can't because we just put that ability block on him. And then we killed him with a chain attack, otherwise he would have bled out. Again, now you get this drop of Mordo and Pyro. Your priority here is Pyro and then Mordo. You don't really have to worry about the shield characters until after you take out your priority targets. Bert, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Anti is the superior Venom stamp. I don't disagree. But he's harder for newer players to get. That's why I typically say if you have Carnage, Venom, and Symbiote Spidey, you have enough of the team to do some damage. But obviously, if you can get Anti-Venom, you should. Anti-Venom is a great support character. He's one of the best, if not the best support character in the game. He's up there, and he's usable on a lot of teams. But Shara is famous for trying to use different teams for every raid node to keep things interesting. I fully support it. I typically do this stuff like on the fly, so I tend to just use my symbiotes and auto on through most of the time. Steve's team is Minerva, Emma, Black Bolt, Thanos, and Ebony. Solid Ultima 7 team right there. Anti is a character you can dump T4s into all of his abilities. Jigabachi's rating with X-Force. Look, I mean, ultimately, power can be king. So, especially if it's a punch down for you, you really can use almost anyone. X-Force has enough finicky bits that you can sustain them for a while, which is nice. You can't do that with every team. There's some teams that sort of lose steam. Pooh Bear says he uses Thanos, Maw, Emma, Yo-Yo, and Black Bolt for Raid and Arena. Again, solid team. Very solid team. Steve says Thanos feeds energy to Black Belt so he ults every turn. That is dangerous. It is dangerous. Let's go ahead and also launch Gamma here. I think we're going to... Yeah, we're keeping it with difficulty 1. We've got to hit 60% on this one to up it to difficulty 2. Now that they added difficulties to the game, we want to knock those out. So let's go ahead and launch this. Again, for those of you that are newer or in the Paleo Pals Alliance, the higher levels of the Greek raids, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, actually have restrictions on what characters you can use, which can be tougher for people to keep track of who has what team at viable levels. Generally, Avengers and Guardians you can get relatively early on, so these first nodes on the sides here are okay. But then as you get a little farther in, it restricts to Kree and Pimtech, which is harder for some people. Or Pimtech or Wakandan, again, pretty hard for the newer players, so that kind of stinks. On the center nodes here, you can use Brotherhood or Shield, which then gives away to Defender or Mercenary. Again, this is a little more forgiving for newer accounts, because chances are you've got some Shield, you can easily farm AIM and Brotherhood in a lot of different places. And then Defenders are fairly easy to farm and usually pick up a couple Mercenaries, so that's not bad. When you make it past here, you can then use Guardians. Again, Guardians is a farmable early team. Mercenary or X-Men, you've likely picked up at least a couple X-Men. So I would suggest if you're a newer player, you try to stick to these middle lanes here, and you allow the players that maybe have deeper rosters to swing along these sidelines here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. And I do have an Avengers team set up. I also have a Guardians team. We're going to go with Guardians for this. It's going to be a punch down. Gigabachi says Domino always dies. Tyson's main raid team has been Zemo, Min, Emma, Star-Lord, and Strife. Solid team. Stamp says his fun raid team is Emma, Shatterstar, Longshot, Maw, and Zemo. That is a fun one. So, Shatterstar and Longshot, they're really just all about crits. They increase crit chance and they increase crit damage. So, they're really great to use with faster, high crit characters. So, that team definitely works. And yeah, they hit really hard. Those crits are crazy. Bert says he was timing out with symbiotes. I'm guessing your symbiotes are just not a high enough power yet, because once they get really rolling, they're monsters. Yes, this is a huge punch down, Steve. That's why we're just autoing it. We're just going to go right through it. Saw you had an easy win a few times against those two, a few times, and nope, lost bad. Yeah, those crits are devastating. Sherry says it would take forever to list all my U7 teams since I use a different one on every node. Yes, but do you have a favorite in that rotation? I understand the value of the rotation, but do you have a favorite that you look forward to using or that you use out the gate every time? We got our rewards from the last one. Got a little bit of campaign energy. I think I'm going to try to pick up this last piece of gear for Corvus. I 1-starred that one. I 2-starred this one. I'm going to try to 3-star this. This specific node, this is Doom War Campaign Node 1-4. The restrictions here are Hero Mystic characters or Guardian characters. I definitely recommend Ghost Rider for this node. He's awesome. I happen to have a T14 Thor, so we're going to throw him in there. Iron Fist is just, from the days when Defenders were useful, I've got him pretty high, so he's sort of a no-brainer for me. I've got Mantis at a decent level for support, and I've got Rocket at a decent level, so we're going to try with this team here. Stamp says he's been using that team in Live Arena. It's almost unfair. Kivo Shield, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Or is that Kevo? Kevo Shield? Is that how it's pronounced? Yep. Alright, so I'm going to try to take out Ghost Rider first, because he's scary. And does a ton of damage. Jigabachi is actively trolling in the chat that you can see, saying that I told him to gear and Red Star Hand because they're the best team ever. It's a running joke between he and I. Oh, hey, how you doing, Turd Ferguson? Good to see you. Welcome to the Alliance Cluster. Glad to have you. Let's go ahead and heal up our Rocket here. The objective, we're not going to be hard pressed to beat this node. We just want to 3-star it, so I'm trying to be cautious. I'm going to go ahead and throw that defense down through Ghost Rider's ult. See if we can clear the taunt. Oh, we killed him outright. That's good. Yeah, we'll go ahead and heal. That fun rocket ult out. Alright, Coulson's going to be the next dangerous target we got to get rid of here. And we'll get that stun, is going to make a big difference. I really don't need to worry about him as much now. We're going to go ahead and wipe out Doctor Strange. Alright, easy 3-star. Don't really have a favorite, huh? Do you stick to the same rotation every time, or do you mix that up too? The order that you use the different teams. Alright, let's hope we get our missing piece here. Come on. Damn it. We'll have to wait for our campaign energy to refresh before we hit that one again. But like I said, I'll have it by tomorrow for sure. Hand ninjas were your favorite? I'm working, one of the first characters I'm going to get to tier 15 if I can help it is going to be Ghost. Who's going to be great for the global nodes when the time comes. Phoenix is... X-Men is my favorite team. Uncanny X-Men in the game right now. I plan to get Astonishing X-Men together also when the time comes. So I'm definitely going to tier 15 Phoenix as soon as possible. I also... Cyclops is one of my favorite characters from the comics, so I will be getting him to tier 15 also. And in-game, he's very strong. Believe it or not, I still haven't maxed out his Optic Devastation. It's on my short list of abilities to max, but they are my top team for sure. These are my... we can take a peek. Take a peek at my top teams here. Yes, we know that. So top 3 teams, we've got Uncanny X-Men, Symbiotes, and Black Order. And then my shame. This used to be my big shame was they were my number 1 team. They're now knocked down to number 4. Stamp, I mean, that percent damage is really good. You've just got to get her to stick around. So, my Ghost gets a surprising amount of evades, and whenever she evades, she gets the automatic counterattack. Just for whenever she gets attacked, she gets a 100% automatic counterattack. But she dodges a lot and then hits back. But the big thing is this Quantum Explosion here, the stealing 15% health. I mean, that's what you're using her for, 100%. And in DD4, she's going to be even more useful because in DD3 you can use Phoenix in the global nodes to do percent health damage, but in DD4 it has to be non-legendary global for those nodes. So you can use Phoenix at the end for the legendary nodes, but for the global you can't use her. This is where Ghost is going to be super, super valuable. It's okay. I respect difference of opinion. I know not everybody likes Cyclops. You have a 3 yellow, 3 red, and she gets walloped, huh? I mean, look, she definitely gets wiped out pretty quickly if she's not protected. I do have the power. But the big thing is just protecting her. So, like, because I have Colossus on the team for the global nodes for a protector, he can definitely take some of the hits that normally would go towards Ghost and keeps her alive long enough that she can get that ult going. The other thing is, for an ult, I mean, this is a relatively inexpensive ult. It comes up fairly often. It's great for her to be able to do that damage. Her special is good, but it's much better if you have Pimtech allies, which I don't right now for her, for Dark Dimension 3. I don't get a lot of mileage out of it. It's good. Objectively, on paper, it's good. I just don't get a lot of mileage out of it. I get a lot more mileage out of her Quantum Explosion. Yes, Phoenix Stealth and Colossus Taunt are clutch for making her useful, 100%. Obviously, you lose Phoenix and DD4 on those nodes, but you can still bring Colossus in, and it makes a big difference. You're 2 shards away from a free-to-play 5 yellow, 5 red star Ghost. That's awesome. That's going to make that character super, super useful for you. Kinkifer, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Fellow Cyclops lover. Kinkifer knows where it's at. 100%. My Cyclops is just a monster. He does so much damage. Why don't we jump into an arena battle and we can see it in action. Do I want to punch into this team? Maybe. How do I want to do this? Do I want to stick with this team? I think I do. Tyson says in-game he likes his Cyclops. I don't blame you. He's good. Jigabotch says X-23 is your favorite. X-23 is an awesome character. Great addition to the X-Men and X-Force team. Alright, so they drop a bunch of negative effects on our team, and then Phoenix is going to take them all. How do we want to do this? We're going to give... I'm not going to worry about giving everybody that offense up yet. We are going to pull that taunt off of Cull by putting it on Proxima Midnight, because I would rather focus on her for that. Go ahead and whack her. Come on, kill that Phoenix already. Almost there. I'm not going to heal because I don't want to heal Phoenix. You pulled your first and second 7 red. What did you get? Yeah, it's got to be Ravager Boomer, right? Hate the ability block. Bird 7 his hand. Okay, so what we want to do here, we're going to go ahead and heal with Anti-Venom. We are then going to steal and distribute health with Phoenix. Are you ready for this big damage, big energy damage here? Boom. Wipes out 2 of them. Then we're going to, again, steal some health with Ebony Maw. A lot of sustain on this team. Their big threat here is Ebony Maw, so I'm not going to completely focus on him. I just want to try to mitigate some of his healing here. We're going to go ahead and taunt and apply some deflect there. I'm actually going to try to take out Thanos first. Boom. Done. Okay, now we will get a heal in from Anti-Venom with his base attack. It's a legendary character stamp? Oh, man. Alright, good night, Bert. Thanks for stopping by. Love to see you. Lots of streamers in the Alliance, that's true. And this is going to be a cakewalk win, which is going to put me up to rank 77, I believe. Yup. Cyclops too strong. Star-Lord. Alright. That doesn't suck. That doesn't suck. Rank 77. And again, at this rank, as you can see, defense typically is occupied by Black Order. Speaking of, I should probably update my defense. It's been a while. Maybe I want to leave it. I seem to be holding on to my rank, so maybe this is not the worst idea. Although, I think I'm going to swap Beast for Anti-Venom here. Tyson, no 7 red star at all. I mean, I only have Phoenix at red star. I mean, only Phoenix. If I had to pick one, she would be the one I would pick, but I only have the 1/7 red star. I've got a couple 6s, but I only have the 1/7 red star. Look, Mama on TV. Jigs. Jigs pulled the 6 red star cable. Is your only red above 5? Yeah, but it's on your favorite team. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that, you know? Like I said, I'm not complaining. I got a 7 red star Phoenix, a 6 red star Cyclops. They're both on my main team. I can't complain. I've got 5 red stars for a few of my symbiotes. I got 6 on Scream, even though I don't have the 6th yellow star. I can't complain. These are good characters to get pulls on, so. Steve has 2 7 red star defenders. That's rough. That is rough. I do have a 6 red star defender. My Iron Fist here is 6 red star. I also have a 6 red star War Machine I'm not complaining about because Power Armor is not a bad team. Wardy! Welcome! It's like the whole Alliance is here. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So yeah, hopefully that cleared some stuff up about Emma. Hopefully now those of you who don't have her are jazzed to get her and have a better idea of where she fits. For those of you in the main guild where we do have solid wars happening, you definitely can farm Mr. Sinister from the War Store to complement her on that Marauders team. For those of you without, it's going to be harder unless you get lucky and pull him, but we will get there with the Paleo Pals Alliance. While I got you guys in chat, does anyone know what the minimum recommended power is for Doc Ock? Zemo's a good 6 red star pull. Swarm's okay. Swarm is a good 6 red star pull if you have Doc Ock. If you don't, it's less useful. Kevo, you're new, you're here to learn. Soak it in, man. Soak it in. I'm going to start doing this this more often. You're also playing Apex. I'm sure your team loves that you're distracted. Shara says she says it's not too hard to unlock Doc Ock. I hope so. I'd rather... Not that they're not a good team, because they are a decent war team, but yeah, Jigs, you definitely... I'm not worried about you at all. I'm not worried about my team. I just may need to bump them a little bit. I've been hoarding mutant resources for Astonishing X-Men, so if I need to bump them up, it shouldn't be too hard for me. Yeah, Tyson. Mr. Fantastic is going to be okay for you for war, certainly, when the time comes for you to have a viable team to use them on. Stamp, you've pulled 6 Red Star Phoenix. Good. Ghost Rider, awesome. Emma, cool. Captain Marvel, Thanos, and Strife, all great characters. Honorable mention being Cap. Honestly, Cap's gotten more necessary if you haven't cleared the Doom campaign. So he used to be sort of a throwaway. Then they reworked Avengers, and he at least became relevant to some degree. And then after the necessary tag of Avengers on a bunch of the Doom campaign nodes just made a huge difference as far as usability for that team. Yeah, I did a little bit of a resource investment into X-Force recently because some of them were lagging behind at like 20 or 30k power. I bumped them all up into the 40s here, or 50s in the case of X-23. I'm hoping that should be enough. I'm just gonna 5-star him, just to get him. Oh, speaking of Doc Ock things, I should probably do that. Oh, here we go. Boom! That's going to get Corvus Glaive up. I totally forgot to check the stores. Womp, womp. What do we want here? Oh, I should probably... Now that I just downloaded BlueStacks on this, I should probably set up... I don't mind doing that. We want to do that. I don't get on the store. Cool. Here we go. Yes, Wave 1 does destroy early game. On my alt account, I've been using them. They're really good. They do fall off into the later game, but again, they're relevant now. They were irrelevant for the longest time, but after their rework, they're at least relevant. They're part of the conversation. Just picking up some supplies. I don't really need that. Wave 1 sits at number 1 in Arena for the newer players. That's interesting. That's interesting because I would think that the few whales that you have in your division would be rocking as Guardians in the top spots. Yeah, Kevo, that's a solid strategy that you're investing in right now. I'm going to hold off because I actually need some different pieces than that for tier 15. We will go ahead and open these just to get them off my radar. And let's go ahead and on screen, we can make it sort of the last thing we do. We will gear up our Corvus Glaive here. Boom, tier 14. So now all but one of my Black Order is tier 14. We just need Kull. Is the last little butterfly that we have to get up there. Alright guys, so on that note, thank you so much for joining me for my comeback MSF stream. It's always great to see all of you. I will try to do this more often, and I will try to get a more solid schedule down if my work schedule stabilizes a little bit. But in the meantime, love to see all of you. DSA, Pooh Bear's demanding DSA. I will also try to add DSA to my rotation. My work schedule made it very hard for me to find time to play. So I've got 2 MSF accounts to run and take care of running the alliances. So DSA's fallen to the wayside a little bit for me. I try to hit it when I can, but I definitely don't get to it every day, Pooh. But I will try to work it at least into maybe one stream a week of DSA to at least showcase some of that. But yeah, love all you guys. I'll see most of you in Alliance chat, and obviously the Discord server, not just for those of you in the Alliance, but anyone who watches the stream, anyone who wants to be part of the Paleo Gaming community. It is an open community. There's lots of people who can offer you advice and stuff on MSF, or just chat strategy, or really any games, and it's just a welcome gaming community. Again, other streamers that have been in our channel, hey, thanks for following. Other streamers in our channel to check out: Mr. Jigabachi streams, Galaxy of Heroes and MSF, Fort Mort streams, Galaxy of Heroes. Tyson, I believe, streams also Galaxy of Heroes, maybe, or just hanging out or something. I know Tyson does something. If I missed anyone, please feel free to weigh in chat. But again, thank you for joining me for tonight's stream. We will be doing it again, and in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.